Another one, I think, Manoj is over
Mintu
here.
Kumar, sir.
Mintu Kumar is not over here. Okay. Okay, Gopal Goyal is over here, so Mintu Kumar is not. Okay. So yesterday's discussion, I'm continuing that thing, the soil part. The soil, it's a soul of infinite life. First of all, yesterday I told you that there are two terms over there. Actually, one is pedology, one is edaphology. So pedology, it's a soil-soil relationship and study within the soil. And edaphology is the soil-plant relationship. This is the edaphology. So today we'll discuss about the soil pedology, that is the soil classification system and what is soil, how soil formed, etc., etc. Now, if I'll share the screen, share. Are you getting that thing? Hello.
Yes, sir. We are getting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is soil pedology. Pedology, I already told, it's within the soil system. This is soil pedology. And that I already told you, the soil is a dynamic natural body developed as a result of pedogenic process. I will come to the latter. What is pedogenic process? During and after weathering of rocks, consisting of minerals and organic constituents, possessing definite physical, chemical, mineralogical, and biological properties, having a variable depth over the surface of the earth, and providing a medium for plant growth for land plants. Land plants, not aquatic plants, mind it. So each and every word has some meaning. Variable depth, I already told you. And definite physical, chemical, mineralogical, and biological properties. Well, soil has microbes. It's a bacteria, it's a fungi, it's different actinomycetes, different thing, different microbes. The house or is a soil. Soil has different definite physical and chemical properties. I'll come to the latter. This is now, what is the soil forming process? Soils develops as a result of interplays of the 5 factors: parent material, climate, organisms, relief, and time. Relief is landforms and topography. So parent material, that you already told some of you, that rocks, well, rocks, regoliths, and then soil. Time, yeah, you told already, time is a factor. So it needs actually millions and millions years to get soil. Organisms, that is vegetation, fauna, and soil biota. So 5 factors actually are interplaying to form one soil, 1 inch soil or soils. Well, now first of all, what is parent material? So soil has developed and can vary from solid rock to deposits like alluvium and boulder clay. It has been defined the initial state of the soil system. Whenever actually you are going to that Himalayan area or any mountain area, even in Girirdi also. So first of all, you can see that one, some boulders, big boulders, that is big rocks, and then small boulders, that is erosional losses, and it broken down to the small pebbles. And this is actually the soil forming process. So big one, then small one, then smallest chunk, and then it is grind that thing with the help of this climate and the river flow or water current. Then it and with time it forms a soil. So parent material can influence in the soil in a number of ways. Color, I already told that Raoul Ghof staying at Nagpur. So it's a Vidarbha area in the Maharashtrian part. So eastern part of the Maharashtra or northeastern part of the Maharashtra. So that in his area, it's a black soil. So black soil means it's a basalt rock. So in basalt rock, actually this erosional conversion process, then it forms some black soil. So that you are getting the so parent material can influence the color. Texture, yes, texture is always, because if it is the sandy, because if you'll just feel that, take the soil in your hand and feel that. If it is little bit of quartz nature, so just take some water over there and try to build one ribbon that is cylindrical type of thing. If it is ribbon is actually formed, then that means actually it is actually heavy soil. That is, it has good amount of clay. Just wait a minute, 1 minute. Well, so texture, if you'll feel the actually this ribbon actually built ribbon, that means actually if you'll just take the soil in your hand and give some add some water over there and make some ribbon. If it is a ribbon formed, that means it has actually good amount of clay. The people in that is Rahul Ghop area, that is Nagpur area, the black soil actually, it has actually heavy amount of clay. So if you'll actually, and also the people resides near the uh, uh, near the actually the Bhagalpur area or in the Calcutta area. The if you'll feel the actual ribbon actually built in a good shape, so that means it has actually good amount of clay. I'll come to the later that what is clay particle. But if it is the sand, and if it is the ribbon actually not built actually properly, it actually broke it. It is actually, if you feel that it is actually uh, breaking, so that means actually it has actually good amount of sand. So that means actually textural class also, parent material can influence the texture. Yeah, structure also, I'll come to the latter. Mineral composition, yes, mineral composition is one of the reasons. Suppose mineral composition, if you are telling that the this is Chota Nagpur plateau area, that means actually the soils near Chota Nagpur plateau, the the over here, the parent material, it contains, suppose the iron content is high, that means actually your soil will reach actually reach in iron. So that means actually if you'll analyze the soil by in the laboratory, you will get actually more iron over there. So that means actually mineral composition also, the parent material can influence over there. Permeability drainage, yes, permeability drainage means, suppose if the soil contains more amount of sand, that is the soil exists in this Dhanbad area or the Ranchi area, this type of soil, it has the water holding capacity is much more lesser. That means actually water can actually drain out easily. But if the soils in the Bhagalpur area or in the Nagpur area or in the Calcutta area, it's a soil generally the heavy texture. Heavy texture means it has actually 50, 35% or 40% clay. That is a heavy texture. It has actually less pore space. So less pore space means actually that drainage actually will be lesser compared to this Ranchi area or Dhanbad area. So that means actually parent material can influence the soil properties. So that's I already told that 5 factors actually influenced the soil forming process. So that one is actually the parent material. Next, climate that I told telling you. Climate governs the rate and type of soil formation, is also the main determinant of the vegetation distribution. Now the question is that soil climate has two major components. One is the moisture, precipitation, that is the rainfall, and temperature influencing evaporation. When precipitation exceeds evaporation, the leaching of the soil will occur. Now, what is leaching? That is the one term, leaching. Leaching means, suppose draining out the liquid. That is the called leaching. Means in a nutshell or in the thumbs rule, leaching means actually draining out. Okay, suppose thus what here the one is the precipitation. That is the if the precipitation, that means actually rainfall is more. Rainfall, that is the precipitation, and the temperature. Suppose the soils in the temperate region. Well, there is a two term. One is the temperate, one is the tropical. Temperate, where the temperature is much more colder compared to the other region, and tropical, it's a much more hotter compared to the other region. So suppose in the Europe and northern part of the United States, and also this Soviet Union, that is Russia, and also the Himalayan area, it's a temperate zone. And in the tropical zone, the other parts of that is Africa, the our what's called this is most of the Indian peninsula. This is actually the tropical, because the temperature is much more compared to the other region. Okay, this is actually the tropical and the temperate. Now in the temperate zone, that is the European part, and also the Russia, that is the Soviet Union, old Soviet Union, and also the northern part of the United States and Canada, is the temperate zone. That is the temperature is much more colder compared to the tropical region. So that means over there precipitation comes through the snowfall. That is the snowfall. Snowfall is nothing but that is a solid, liquid, and gas. So is a solid part of that is our what's called the water. So if it is the snow melts, then they got this water. So that is in the forms of the snowfall. Now in the tropical region, we are getting the rainfall. Now this rainfall, when they actually rainfall, and one is the evaporation. Evaporation, each and everybody know that thing, that if it is the temperature increased, automatically the water evaporate. So there are two terms. One is the precipitation, that is the rainfall. One is the evaporation, that is the loss. So one is gain, in terms of the water, one is gain, one is loss. Now the precipitation exceeds evaporation. Precipitation exceeds evaporation. That is where the region where we are getting the more rainfall. That is then the precipitation is much more compared to the evaporation. The leaching of the soil will occur. Yes, leaching means draining out the water, the excess water through the soil column, or through the soil, or the water bodies actually exist, or nala or river, etc. Now if the soil, before this slide I already told you that if it is a soil contains more sand, that means the leaching will occur faster compared to the soil contains less sand. That means if the region, suppose Giridih, suppose Purulia, suppose Dhanbad, suppose Ranchi, this area, the sand contents in the soil is much more compared to the Bhagalpur area, Kolkata area, or Nagpur area. So leaching will occur much more faster. If it is the not, if it's not, that means the water stagnation occurred. You will get actually the water stagnation over there. That is the sometimes it's called the flooding. Okay. Now temperature determines the rate of reactions, chemical, biological decay, and so has an influence on weathering and humidification. Well, humidification, that is, I'll come to the latter. Humidification terms, just ignore that thing. Weathering, that is the most important thing. Suppose in the rocks, suppose rocks, if the temperature is much more, that the weathering occurs much more faster. Now temperature determines the rate of reaction. Yes, suppose when we cook anything, whether it's veg or that is non-veg, generally we supply the external heat. That means the reaction with these spices and all the vegetables occurs much more faster compared to if you will not supply the heat. So that means temperature determines the rate of reaction. Anything, suppose one acid and base reaction, or anything actually, the suppose if we'll suppose well, the more thing is that the ice, water, and water vapor. So if you'll actually if you'll heat the ice, then it will, within a fraction of second, it will convert to the water. But if it is not heat, that means it will take some time to conversion. This conversion occurs, that is the ice to water. And if you heat the water, then it will form the water vapor within some minutes. But if you not heat the water, it will take actually much more time compared to if you heat the water. So that means temperature determines the rate of reaction. Now if you apply this concept to the soil, now if you'll go to that forest area or any other area, if you can see that much more leaves, that is the plant leaves, exist in the soil. That means soil. Now if that leaves actually, if it comes to the soil, that means actually it has to be decomposed. It has to be decomposed. Now has to be decomposed. This decomposition process governs by this temperature, moisture, and the microorganism. If the temperature is higher, that is 35 degrees centigrade, or this 40 degrees centigrade, or 38 degrees centigrade, this decomposition process is much more faster compared to the decomposition process in the 5 degrees centigrade, that is in the winter time. That means in the summer time, this decomposition process is much more faster than the winter time. That means the temperature can influence the rate of the reaction, because over here, mind it, the microorganisms, that generally the microorganisms can interplay this process within the 25 to 35 degrees centigrade. So if it is actually the 5 degrees centigrade, now the British temperature possibly is the 5, 6, or 7 degrees centigrade. Or if you'll go to the Himalayan area, the temperature possibly in the minus region. So that means the decomposition process is much more slower, because microorganisms will not work over there. But it's slow process. But in the summertime, the microorganisms can work actually faster. So that means that the decomposition process is faster compared to the winter time. So that means the climate governs the rate and the type of soil formation. Now, how it's related to the soil formation, that is another thing. Well, now in the soil, the upper part of the soil, actually, okay, I'll come to the latter, because I have to go through that soil horizon. Okay. Now, active soil former plus the climate. In the climate, there is a moisture. So chemical and biological activities, excess evaporation, alluviation and illuviation, I'll come to the latter. Excess evaporation, capillary action, that I'll come to the latter, because this is actually the typical terminology you have to know. Alluviation, illuviation, I'll come to the latter. Okay. Now, climate, temperature, chemical reaction, bacterial activities, rate of decomposing. I already told this is the bacterial activities. It is within 25 degrees centigrade to 35 degrees centigrade. All the bacteria, actually the bacterial activity, that means such a microbial activity, more specific, more broader way. If I say the microbial activity, microbial activity actually much more faster in the 25 degree to 35 degree centigrade. So that means actually, but now you can raise the question, so that means actually in the if it is the 15 degree centigrade or 10 degree centigrade, is there any microbial activity? Yes, microbial activity still exists, but the process is actually much more slower. So that's why 25 to 35 degree centigrade is good. It's a good, or you can say best for these microbial activities. Now, well, yeah, this active soil format, the climate. First of all, wind, minor factor, although it is the increased evaporation, reallocation of soil removal and accumulation. Yeah. So wind, suppose the increased evaporation. You know that is that the evaporation that is the loss of the water loss is much more if actually wind blows. That is the normal thing. So if it is wind blows, that means actually much more the increase of the evaporation. Number two is the reallocation of the soil. So if it is that more wind, that is then the tornado or some other actually the more wind, that means soil actually losses from the one part and it is actually deposited in the another part. That's why I call it the reallocation of the soil, and the culprit is the wind. Now the organism, that's why I'm telling this organism, it's a microorganisms or macroorganisms. Yeah, macroorganisms, you know that the earthworm, Quechua. So earthworm, actually, yeah, earthworm actually you can find in the soil. So okay, so you already probably possibly you heard one term is the vermicompost. Vermicompost is nothing but actually the compost actually made with the help of the earthworm. Okay, so that is a different thing. When I'll give you the lecture regarding the manure fertilizer, then I'll come to that this vermicompost etc. thing. Well, the organism influence the soil development range from microscopic bacteria to large animals, including man also. So microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi assist in the decomposition of plant litter. That's what I'm telling. So if you'll add some cow dung in the soil, so that means actually the cow, you are adding the cow dung. So plant will not take the cow dung. That is impossible. So then the bacteria exist in the cow dung, and bacteria exist in the soil that will decompose that cow dung. And that cow dung, that means actually all the elements necessary for the plant growth or the soil formation, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, etc. Whatever actually exists in the cow dung, that will come to the soil. So microorganisms actually breaks down that cow dung, and that is the cow dung. It's called sometimes the organic matter. So breaks down the organic matter, and that all the nutrients exist in that organic matter, including carbon also. That is including carbon also. That actually comes to the soil. So if you'll add the cow dung in the soil, that means that all the bacteria and fungi exist in the soil and the cow dung that decompose the cow dung, and the carbon particle and the other particle, nitrogen, etc., will come to the soil, and soil will actually enriched with the addition of the cow dung. So that means actually the carbon content in the soil will increase. Now, plant litter. Yes, plant litter. The plant litter, if you'll go to the any agricultural land, or so forget about agricultural land, the forest land, any forest land, or if you'll go to the any tea garden, you know that in the tea garden, what tea garden? It's a tea leaves, tea plant, whatever you already possibly have seen. The tea plant is a very small plant in the tea garden. You can possibly have seen in the your movie or any other area.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's not. It's actually the bonsai. The tea plant is actually, if you'll grow freely, then it will actually grow up to the eucalyptus, like eucalyptus plant. It's a very long plant. But we actually, for our tea plucking and the tea quality, tea leaves quality, we actually cutting down that upper part. So it's actually the bonsai. That's why if you'll see the tea plant, its root is actually much more thicker, but the plant is very small. So it's like a bonsai. So if you'll go to the forest area of the Assam or the forest area of the North Bengal, Siliguri, Jalpaiguri area, then you will get some wild tea plant. It's not wild, it's a tea plant. So tea plant, and also if you'll go to the any festival or any suppose handcraft exhibition, then you will get some tea wood over there. The tea wood is very expensive. You can't save the tea wood like teak or your whatever actually sesame, like this thing. So you can't actually shape that thing. Whatever you are getting, that's it. So this is a tea plant. It's a long, actually this 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet long. But what we are doing, we are actually cutting down all the upper part. So it's actually the bonsai, so that actually we can pluck. We can pluck. That is the we can get. But over here it is tea. It is the word is pluck. So we can pluck the tea leaves, the upper two leaves and one bud. So that's the tea leaves. So in the tea garden, in general, within the year, we cut down the upper part of the tea plant. That is called the particular word. It's called pruning. It's called pruning. Pruning means it's actually cutting down the upper part so that actually new leaves comes, and that new leaves is very expensive, and that is actually whatever you are getting the tea leaves as a green tea or as a black tea. The green tea, if it is green tea, generally the green tea means green leaves. So green leaves, first it is dried, that is called the withering, and then fermentation process with the enzyme, then it converts to the black leaves, that is the green color to black color. Then it is three process: crush, tear, and curl. Crush, tear, then curl. That means CTC, crush, tear, curl, CTCT. Whatever you are getting in the market, that is the CTCT. Color is black, that's why you are telling that this is a black tea, but it is CTC. So this is the term the tea garden use. Well, so it's actually different story of the tea garden, but when that actually cutting down of the upper part of the tea plant, then all the plant leaves actually comes to the ground, which is called the pruning. Now this all the tea plant tea leaves in the ground. So the decomposition process actually going on with the help of the bacteria and fungi exist in the soil system. So if it is the temperature is higher, then the decomposition process is faster. Now the decomposition process, if it is the decomposed, then it goes to the soil. That means whatever nutrient exists in the tea leaves, it comes to the soil part again. So it's back to the pavilion, because that tea plant took all the nutrients to the plant body through from the soil. Now when plant leaves, actually when we cut down the plant leaves, then plant leaves comes to the soil. The microorganisms again transform that leaves to the manure or compost. Then it comes to again to the soil. So it is the back to the pavilion thing. Now the vegetation. Well, just forget about relief. Well, now the time, yeah. Soils develop very slowly. That's what I told. In Britain, it takes about 400 years from 10 millimeter of soil to develop, because in the Britain, that is a United Kingdom, the temperature is much more lower compared to India. But I mean, no, I am not talking about the Himalayan area, but normal middle part of the India. So that means the temperature, if it is the temperature low, that means soil formation process will be much more slower. Young soils retain many of the characteristics of the parent material. Young soils means the soil just form or just develop from the parent material. So characteristics of the young soil always actually resembles the parent material. Over time, they acquire other features resulting from the addition of the organic matter and activity of the organisms. An important feature of the soil is that they pass through a number of stages as they develop, resulting in deep profile with many well differentiated horizons. Well, just check that, just see that the each and every word and each and every sentence, over time they acquire other features. Suppose young soil formed. Now we use that soil for the plant grow. The plant grow means plant, actually this root system actually comes to the soil. Okay. Now we generally to the for the to the grow to this plant material or any other crop, then we generally add the fertilizer, we add the cow dung, etc., etc. That means organic matter we are adding. That means whatever actually it, when it is young, whatever the characteristics they have, it's actually little bit changed, because due to the addition of organic matter and activity of the organisms. Because organisms means the bacteria and fungi, they generally break down the organic matter. And if it is the organic matter breakdown, then organic matter is a carbon rich. Now if you actually breaks down the organic matter, that means carbon dioxide form. Now this carbon dioxide reacts with the soil water present in the soil system to form the carbonic acid. That means if the microorganisms breaks down the organic matter, some acid formed, because due to the carbon dioxide, production of carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide reacts with the water in the soil to form the carbonic acid. So that carbonic acid gives the H plus. So that means actually the process actually little bit form the acid. So that means it's a acid forming process. So that's why if you'll add the organic matter into the soil, for the time being, the soil will be little bit acidic. Okay. Okay, so it's if it is the temperature is lower, so 1 centimeter soil, it needs actually 1,000 years. And if it is the temperature is faster and the climate is actually compatible, then it's 30 centimeter soil, it needs actually 50 years. So soil formation process is like this. So slow and fast, I already told you why it is slow, why it is fast. Whether it is temperature, evaporation loss, precipitation, there are so many factors exist over there. So if it's favorable, then 30 centimeter, it needs actually 50-year time. But if it is the not favorable, then that is slow process. So 1 centimeter needs actually 1,000 years. Now this is I already told you in the word already. Okay, so process of soil formation. So one is the transformation, that is weathering, decomposition, humidification. One is translocation, one is addition, one is losses. The 4 terms. First, transformation. So transformation is the mineral weathering. First of all, mineral weathering, because due to the weathering process, the rocks and all the minerals, it comes to the soil part. That's why I told you earlier slide that young soil, the properties of the young soil always looks like the parent material. Second one, organic matter breakdown. Yeah, organic matter breakdown. That is a soil transformation. I am not talking about the soil formation. It's a soil transformation. So organic matter breakdown, I already told that if it is the addition of the organic matter, that's in the forms of the cow dung. Not only cow dung, organic matter, we are generally generally adding the cow dung to supply the carbon and other nutrients, but it doesn't mean that cow dung is the only one. It can eat anything. The vermicompost we can add. Any manure comes from the industrial waste. If you will come to the Giridih, you will get the good agricultural activities over here, laboratory, chemical laboratory, microbiological laboratory, all the biochemistry laboratory, molecular biology laboratory over here. So in ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, Giridih farm, so you'll actually see that's what's going on over there. We are trying to convert all the industrial waste, that is the tannery sludge. Tannery sludge means whatever actually you are wearing in your that is the shoes, all the shoes actually, this leather shoes, that is a leather shoes means actually the whatever you are wearing, that is actually from the animal skin, whether it is a cow, whether it is ox, whether it is buffalo, other things actually. So that's a skin actually when it is tanned process, that means in the tanned process we generally add the chromium over there. So then this processed leather, the other companies like Bata, Sri Leathers and other things actually, they are actually making the shoes, whatever you are wearing. So it's actually the animal skin. Now, when that animal skin, this process, they produce some waste thing, that is the tannery sludge. So tannery sludge actually contains some huge amount of or appreciable amount of this different toxic metals like chromium, nickel, and etc. So over here actually we process the waste and we produce the some good manure for the crop growth. So that is actually tannery sludge manure. So that is waste to wealth conversion. Generally, you are taking, you are each and every day you are taking some refined oil like groundnut oil, sunflower oil, rice bran oil, or sunflower oil. So during that process, they produce some oil sludge. So in the Giridih, we already processed that thing and prepared some good compost for the crop growth. So that is also kind of organic matter. Because why we are using? Because this is the environmental remediation, because waste to wealth conversion. And another thing, there is a paucity or scarcity of the cow dung manure. Okay, so that is the organic matter. So when you are adding the organic matter in the soil, the microorganisms actually broken down that organic matter, and all the carbon particle and nitrogen particle and other nutrients actually comes to the soil and to enrich that soil, and plant can take that nutrient from the soil system. So this is actually the biological system in general. I'm not talking that this is the only one, but in general, this is the biological process, the organic matter breakdown. Okay. Some soil constituents are modified or destroyed, others are synthesized. Okay. So by this actually I'm concluding the lecture. So you can actually, I'll send you some soil science book. So soil science book, whatever I have, but because as you are not over here, if you're over here, then I can give the hard copy of the book, but it is not possible. So I'll send you the soft copy of the book. So you can also search in the Google, you will get the good article also, this process, the soil forming process and soil transformation, etc. So but I'll actually scan that copy of the book and I'll send you the soil formation or soil science related thing. Mind it, this process, this soil science related thing, just read very carefully. If you will not understand, because it's very new, except Shailendra Singh, I think he knows actually a little bit more compared to you people regarding the soil process. So read very carefully. If you will not understand anything, any word or anything, then please ask me, please, because this is new to you. So no problem whether it is Hindi or whether it is English, just ask me, but read that very carefully and learn that process, because this will help you in the some job in the soil testing laboratory. Because when you will be over here, we will actually show you the soil analysis and this chemical process, the biological process. And when you will be over here, don't worry about the chemistry. I'll take the chemistry class, special chemistry chemistry class to you. There is no problem regarding the chemistry. So this is sometimes called the recapitulation of this, because you already read that chemistry in your 10th, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th standard, or 12th standards. So don't worry about that. But this is the regarding the soil process, because there is no chemistry. Okay, little bit of chemistry is over here that you know. So read that thing very carefully. I'll give you the book. But before that, because scanning this thing and etc., this will take a little bit time. So search in the Google. Then you'll, if you'll not understand, please ask me. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Please, sir, please send this PPT.
Please
Thank you,
send the PPT. PPT is little bit a problem, because I'll not send you the PPT, but the contents of the PPT I'll send you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.